A game of chess is like a sword fight. You must think first, before you move.
Hey everyone, Jiminy Cricket representing Team Soul Intent, bringing you guys a deck profile today. I've just gotten home from work. I'm dead tired, so I apologize in advance if I screw up while I'm talking or I forget to mention some things. If I end up remembering anything, it will be in the description box down below, so be sure to check that. Anyway, the reason why I'm doing this deck profile, because I can tell right off the bat you guys are thinking like, what the hell is he showing us today? Anyways, when I got home, I logged onto Facebook and I had a friend request from one of my subscribers requesting that or not requesting I suppose, but he wanted some help with his FIEND deck. So he sent me a screenshot of it, and I can tell off the bat, if you're watching this video, Jonathan, the deck is, you know, I can tell that you're just not in the tournament scene, because if you play in the tournament scene, you really won't end up using those cards. You know, you have to learn what competitive decks look like, what they play, and how they win, and why they're considered tiers. And if you don't know what tiers are, you know, just do a little bit of research and you'll find it. If you type in Yugioh Tier 1, you'll find it out. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and start off with the theory of this deck as we, go ahead and crunch numbers. We're playing 3 Giant Orcs, 3 Tardy Orcs, and 3 Goblin Elite Attack Force. These cards are 2200 attack base and go up to 3000 attack with Solidarity on the field. So you're literally just summoning level 4 3000 attack beaters. If you combo that with Skill Drain on the field, they can't go to defense mode when they attack. So you literally just have a 4-star 3k beater that, your opponent's all his effects are negated at the same time. It's a pretty hard field to deal with when you generate so many of them. Now if you can throw a field spell on top of that, they're at 3500, which brings me to my next point, which is why we used to play 3 Eradicator Epidemic Virus before it got limited, but this card was just the bomb. It took out spellbooks, and really anything else like Exodia or something that just like really played heavy spells. This just ate them alive. And same thing goes for traps also. But Eradicator's back down to 1, so it's good, but we can't abuse it anymore. Anyway, that was the theory, was to make, a bunch of Eradicator Epidemic Viruses. That's why we played the Solidarity. I will mention, too, that they both have 0 defense, and they're dark monsters, so that means you can play Reoccurring Nightmare on them. So I side into that when I side into the Grave Squirmers, because this also has 0 defense. Skullmeister's a little bit of a weird choice to some people. He's like the DD Crow of Fiends, except it won't, remove the card from the graveyard, but he stops things like, I believe he stops Honest and Clue. I'm not positive on that, but I know he stops, Mermails, anything that activate Mermails. I don't know, like I said, I got off work, so I'm sorry if I'm brain farting here, but Skullmeister, you can obviously see by his effect, he takes out a lot of things, and he's very useful. I just can't remember what he's useful against off the top right now. If I think about it, I'll re-mention it. Anyway, we play the Gores and 2 Tragodias just for our, to make it 5 hand traps in the deck, but these are really just awesome when you have Solidarity out. Obviously not Gores because you can't summon him, but Trags are awesome when you have Solidarity out, and, Gores, you can just play Solidarity or the field spell afterwards. The token's beefy. You're just looking for good Fiend monsters, and he's, the best choice, really. 3 Doom Cows to just negate, because we can't play Effect Veilers due to Solidarity. So he's actually very good. He sets up Solidarity right away when you use his effect. Other than that, he's very easy to play around. If your opponent's good and knows what they're doing, they'll know how to play around Doom Cow. But other than that, he's really, really awesome. And again, he goes up to 2700 with Solidarity. It's pretty nice to have a 2700 attack Doom Caliber Knight. Potentially 3200 attack. Vanity's Fiend is probably the nastiest card in here. Like, if you summon this out against Dragon Rulers, I suppose they could blaster it away. I shouldn't use Dragon Rulers as an example, but really any deck that just special summon, just spams it, play that against them and, tell your opponent to have fun. Now, you're probably wondering, what the hell do I, tribute for it? Because these monsters, if I don't have skill drain, they're going to leave the field real fast because they have 0 defense. Well, I do play 2 battle faders to also pair up with, I should have mentioned them in the hand traps, so we actually play 7 hand traps. So they basically pair up in the scene with Trag and Gores of defending myself, and they generate tribute fodder for Vanity's Fiend. Another card that generates tribute fodder for Vanity's Fiend is Golden Apples, because this will void any damage that you've taken and, just regenerate it back to your life points, and then you summon a token. That token can actually be extremely useful because of Solidarity, so no matter what they attack your life points with, you're going to have that same attack plus 800. So whatever monster they attack you with and you play Golden Apples, you'll always have 800 attack more than what they have. We play 3 Pot of Dualities just because we really don't special summon all that often in here, and I like to grab my skill drains fast, or my viruses, or Solidarity. So, or of course, a Giant Orc or Tardy Orc, Goblin Elite, even a Vanity's Fiend. Pot of Duality is just an all-around amazing card in this deck. I'm glad it's back at 3. We play the 2 field spells just to, pump attack up more and make the Eradicator live when we draw it, things like that. This will also make Skullmeister a deck devastation target. The list goes on, even Doomcow because he's only 1900, so all around useful card. You're only using it for the 500 attack boost. Everything else, in this card's effect is you're not even using it because you don't play Archfiend. So I was playing Gateway to Dark World, and that's totally player preference. If you like to play that, you can totally go for that. I just don't like removing all my monsters from the graveyard, and on top of that, this deck does not draw. You don't really generate a hand in this deck, so the more cards you use up out of your hand, the worse off it's really going to be. And I know you draw one afterwards. It's just, trust me, I've tried it a million times, and it's like, it works if you like it, but for me, I just wanted something more straight to the point, I guess. I do switch on and off from Gates in this card quite often. It's just now that this is legal, I've been testing this more. I have kind of liked this more. It was much better to use this card back when we had 3 Eradicators, but down to 1, you could totally play Gates if you really wanted to. Darkhold, because it's our only staple left basically in the spell lineup besides Book of Moon, and it's not even considered a staple. We already explained the apples. Skill Drain is obvious. Doom Caliber Knight works with Skill Drain. Skullmeister works with Skill Drain. Grave Squirmer works with Skill Drain, and it synergizes with all the Orcs and the Goblin Elite Attack Force, so our best card in here. You don't want to play this card when you have Trag out, or Vanity's Fiend, or, that's about it, I guess. Skill Drain's also very nice for Crazy Box, by the way. We play our 2 deck devastation viruses, obvious choices, and with the Eradicator to pair up. Now you're probably wondering why I have such a weird, wacky extra deck. Really, we only play this guy because we main 3 skill drain, and he's a fiend, so this is like a great target to go into for me. I've really never used this thing's effect, and I really don't summon it unless I have a skill drain out or something, but great card, can go up to 3800, and it can attack when you have a skill drain up, so not bad. Roach is also a fiend. I thought for the longest time this guy was an insect. Turns out he's actually a fiend. So, he's not all that awesome of a card anymore, but paired up with Solidarity, he's pretty damn good in my opinion. And really, I only go for my extra deck monsters when these guys are stuck in defense mode, so I have to use them, otherwise they're just going to get attacked and get destroyed, so I might as well go into something. So that's really his main use. Djinn is also, or Maestro Symphony of Djinn is also a fiend, which is awesome as hell. Goes up to 2600 attack with Solidarity, 31 with the field spell and Solidarity. Pretty awesome card, a great effect. And Cowboy is only here for those times where my opponent's ready to die, or I might have 4 level 4s on the field for some reason, or I might have 2 level 4s and 2 Trags, or whatever it is. It rarely ever comes down to me using Cowboy, but because of Solidarity, there's no real point in me playing anything besides these two, and I'm not even sure why the Synchro monsters were... Oh, this was because of Effect Veiler. I'll have to take those out. Anyway, Black Ship is here, just again, if I can game my opponent with it, or it's really going to take me out of a situation. Blackhorn is there to save the day, but Solidarity's dead for the rest of the duel. And once he goes in the graveyard, that is. If you can keep him on the field, Solidarity's still alive, but if he goes to the grave, you're screwed. 10 Tempo, because he's awesome, and I've really grown to like this guy. I really don't know how you... Muzu Rhythm, I guess. Muzu Rhythm is a fucking awesome card. If you can, I know it's really not necessary for anybody else to play this guy, but for me playing a Fiend deck, it's cool. I forgot, I was playing Tour Guides in here. I took the Tour Guides out. That's why these guys are even in here in the first place. So, Tour Guide is also an awesome card. It's just, it doesn't do what I'm looking for. You know, it's like if these are the only things I can go into because of Solidarity, then Tour Guide's not as viable because you normally just go for a first turn Zen mains, and that's an awesome play, but Zen mains will screw up Solidarity, so Tour Guide didn't end up being all that awesome for me. It's 1800 when it's summoned, which is cool, but if you have Skill Drain out, it's kind of screwed. So there's a lot of ups and downs with Tour Guide, and I just decided to take it out in the end. You can really just switch these out with anything you want in the end. It's just try to stay more Fiends in the extra deck. And these are also supposed to be taken out. These were only being played because I had Monster Reborn. So if I was to Monster Reborn my opponent's Effect Veiler, and, you know, I could use these. But now that Monster Reborn's banned, you can go ahead and replace these three with anything you really like. Again, the extra deck doesn't matter all that much. As long as you have this lineup, you're fine. You can even add a third one of each. You're never going to go into 3 copies of any one of these. You're probably only going to exceed 1 time per duel, if that. So extra deck isn't necessary, but, you know, I'm one of those... finicky people that want to make sure that it's at 15 cards, so I always like a nice full extra deck, so fill it up with your choices. For the side deck, the Grave Squirmers are an awesome card because, you know, it doesn't activate on the field, it activates in the grave, so this works with Skill Drain. I can't think of all that many cards that really, you know, hurt me if they generate field presence, but Grave Squirmer is great to have on hand for anything that calls for it. Battle Fader, obviously, just decided in the third one if we're trying to stop OTKs or something. Skullmeister goes in, definitely. Side this, the third one, if you're playing Atlanteans or Mermails. Reoccurring Nightmare, if you're siding into the Grave Squirmers, that's your choice. And again, if you just want to get your monsters back, or if you end up siding in way more spells and traps than monsters, and you end up having to take out monsters, then Reoccurring Nightmare ain't all that bad of a card. Rivalry's good because everything is Fiend due to Solidarity, so any deck that plays Solidarity should probably play Rivalry on top of it. You know, you don't have to main it, but I definitely at least side 2. I think it's a great card for the random wind-up match you still get. Or, again, I'm sorry guys, I'm brain farting. I can't think of anything else besides wind-ups to really name drop for Rivalry's use. No, I was going to say Samurais, but I'm thinking of Gozen Match. That's the card I was thinking of. Rivalry is actually awful against Samurais. Mind Crush, because if you play against a deck that uses 10 key or Pot of Duality or, you know, Rhoda, anything really, and for people who don't know what Rhoda is, that's Reinforcement of the Army. Anything that you see of a deck that's searching, you know, you want to side Mind Crush in. Now, this is also beneficial with the viruses, because I get to see my opponent's hand. So anything that doesn't get hit by the virus can potentially get hit by Mind Crush. So great side card. Soul Drain's good too. I really don't find myself siding into this at all because of the Skullmeisters, or if I side into Grave Squirmer, but you know, if I really need it, it's there for me to use. Same goes for Bottomless and Compulse, just because these cards should not be overlooked. If you can use them, use them. If you can't, put them in the side deck. And that's pretty much all I really have to say about my my Orc Virus deck. Jonathan, if you're trying to use Fiends, this is the way that I did it. Go ahead and give it a test drive. I guarantee you're gonna kick your opponent's ass in like 5 minutes, man. If you've been having trouble with, with games, this is just like a beefy, beat down fucking control deck. That's really all this is in the end. So that's pretty much it. I hope you have fun with it, and I hope it works out for you. I have about a 99.9% feeling that it will work out better than what you're playing now. And no offense to that, man. I know you're probably new to this and stuff, and I'm in no way saying I'm like a Kimosabi of Yu-Gi-Oh, because you're taking advice from like a cheesy stoner, sitting in his fucking bedroom, showing you a deck profile on Devpro. So don't think that I'm a snob with this. By no means. I'd really love to take some advice too, because this has actually grown to be one of my favorite creations that I did, and I'd really love to just make this perfect finally. So as a second part of this video, I will be asking for suggestions on this deck, and I'd really, really, really love to see you guys try it and make a video response. This is probably the most interested video response I'll be interested in. I said that wrong, but you get what I mean. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna cut it off here before my brain explodes. This has been Jiminy Cricket, bringing you guys a Team Soul Intent deck profile for one of my subscribers on YouTube who goes by the name of Jonathan. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.